good, right? So we start on the 4 hour. Oh, that's messy. Okay, so as you guys know, cat's trying to invade me. What did we have, right? So looking at this, we took all those liquidities, yes, but we still got those two highs, right? Um, I mean, if you take a look, right, that is a sweep, but it is a sweep of half a pip, so nobody really got stopped out. Not even half a pip, like 0.4 pips. That's only spread, so nobody really got stopped out on that, right? So we are about to target these highs if we think these liquidities have to get taken because we're still in bullish structure, right? You're going upwards. As you guys seen, we had that bounce from not really a demand zone, but kind of a zone. You could call the breaker block, kind of like that. So we had a bounce right there, so we know we are in bullish structure, right? Then on the 15 minutes touch to 1 hour, you could see that we had left behind this demand zone, and it is actually more seen on the 50-minute because you can see that price broke multiple highs, right? It broke these, went up here, created more liquidity because you see we have all these liquidities right here, and then we create more right here to get taken later on, right? Which got taken right here. I think no, I'm actually waiting. Oh no, I'm stupid. So uh, we were making these liquidities as well. Then what did we have? Price. So we had this one that bounced from this one, right? And then this is actually a 1 hour POI which got caused by news. We can see a nice little bounce from this POI. And then looking at this, we see that this zone caused this break of structure, and this is not a liquidity sweep because if you look, if this was a liquidity sweep, then price would come down, which it didn't, and it also didn't sweep. Like it swept those highs, but that's like 0.1 or 2 pips, so that's not really a sweep, right? Because we know nobody has their stop loss on the candle, so we identify this as a break of structure. So then we have this demand zone right here, which we are expecting price to retrace, which if you guys were on the live stream, we had marked this zone out and we said potential buys from here. So we are just looking for simply seeing what's going to go on, and then on the 1 minute we would want these highs to fail in order to look for bullish continuations, right? We're going to wait until Asia and then we'll see what happens. So we are bullish, right? And then we're looking to buy. Could see some buys from here maybe, or as I mentioned, the zone below. So let's see what happens. So let me also mark the session opens. That's a good idea as well. This and then 2 o'clock as well. What am I doing? Yeah, 2 o'clock. So these are the session opens: Asia, London, and New York. That's the kill zones, right? The session open kill zones. Okay, so now we are at the open of Asia. This is not a break of structure. This is just a liquidity sweep, as we guys know. And so this demand zone is probably not gonna hold, right? Because it simply isn't a liquidity sweep, and this also shows that not every demand zone is gonna hold exactly. Then you took out these lows very nicely. Didn't take out these lows, so you actually form double bottom, meaning that these are gonna get taken as well. There's no way that price comes this low and doesn't take that low, right? So looking for buys here, okay, well, price did run, okay, right? But on the bigger picture, I know price is gonna come down, right? So we're waiting. So essentially you swept these highs, but again, you didn't sweep this high. So again, you formed some more liquidity. So we are just seeing a liquidity form up during Asia at the moment. And then, you form more liquidity. You have these equal highs, like kind of equal highs above. Then first of all, you take the liquidity, you make a fake upward move, then you come down. Now we're gonna come into the demand zone, but this demand zone probably won't hold. And then what do you see first? So this is a fake bounce, session inducement. Then let's hop on the 1 minute. It'll be easier. That is a fake bounce because price not in your POI. Now what do you have? You have that flip. You don't have the flip yet, right? You would have won that closure above. And seeing this candle, people want to buy, but it's not time to buy because price most likely gonna fail this zone just looking at it, because it should have flipped this, but it didn't. Exactly, there we're going lower. Now price, you take those highs, right? You take these highs. This is not a flip, right? So I don't expect this zone to hold, because this is you're inside a 5-minute demand zone, and now we're in bullish or bearish order flow. First of all, we have the flip to the downside, but not to the upside. The upside would have been a higher break of structure, but this is simply liquidity sweep. Now this is a break of structure, but as you guys can see, we have those double bottoms once again. So I don't expect price to go too high, and I expect a retracement very, very soon. So I would not take this buy because you're not gonna hit a good TP. Exactly, like that. So if you would have bought, worst case, you bought here, right? And stop loss like this, where would you target? Your target is not even met. If that was your target, which this really wouldn't be a target. But now, as we expect, price is coming down because we've spoken about this. That flip didn't happen, and we formed those double bottoms. So it's all about liquidity. Now, what do we have, right? We have these zones. We flip those. First of all, this actually is our flip zone, which causes your demand to fail. This is your supply. And what do you have? You have highs up here and highs up here. Then you have highs here, highs. Like if you look at the 50-minute, it's very easy to see, right? So what do you have? First of all, highs here, highs here, highs here, highs here, highs, highs. These are all stop loss from people, right? So what do you expect? Price to go up from this zone or price to go down? From my experience and from my knowledge, there's no point of price going down after tapping into this zone. And that's simply because of the liquidity game. And we're about to get into London Open as well. Right, so this is it's actually perfect timing how price comes in your POI at London Open, right? So what do you have? I actually we have this POI right here, right? So waiting for a break of structure, which is actually your chalk flip. So there's your chalk flip, right? This is the fake one, and then you have the real one. So now you're having a buy setup at here, and your target is, my target is the 15-minute highs, these highs, right? 736. Could even aim all the way to the daily high, which you could, but my target was a 736. Even this high is fine, but this, is the Asian high, which is gonna get hit faster than any of these highs, right? I don't want to wait too long, right? So let's actually have a like this. Okay, so let's see what happens. So you get filled, very nice. So what actually price done is price create multiple highs, and on the way up it formed this triple top thing. So that is better for us. That's just more liquidity for us, right? So let's see. Boom, nice move to the upside. I actually call this move, I don't know if you guys won't know, but I actually called this move, and I'll show you right live. Where is it? Yeah, so 415 was my zone, and 730 was my TP, right? And so as you guys seen, we went break even already, but 947, and what actually was crazy was price was this close to TP, so actually 1 pip, and it formed just more liquidity. And so it should have only taken 20 minutes for my trade to hit TP, but it retraced all the way down here, all the way, and took out these lows. And what did price do? It took a last liquidity sweep, right? Like it was just forming more liquidity, right? If you see right here, there's more liquidity, even on these bottoms. And then you had that last sweep of liquidity, which is right here, fake break of structure after taking those highs, and then trade hits TP after I think 3 hours, 2 hours, about 2 hours instead of 20 minutes. So that was a good trade, and as you guys know, you could have taken any TP and a daily high as well, but I took this TP, which was enough for me. That was, I think, a 1 to 8. And now, since we're bullish, we're just looking for those 1 minute bullish continuation buys, right? So you're gonna take out these zones, and then we're just gonna see what price is gonna do, right? Because since we've taken so many, since price action is going so up, we're expecting just bullish continuation buys, simply, right? So at this point, we're also looking at this zone right here, which is a small break of structure, but it is one, right? Because you actually take liquidity right here, these two liquidities, then you retrace, then you actually come back and break structure, which is good, right? So now we form a new high, which is nice. But would you take the zone below? Simply no, because there's too much liquidity. And taking these liquidities and bouncing from here is a perfect thing to do, which is going to be inducement for the first demand. So I am placing it like this, and I am looking for a new high, right? And I'm gonna take this high as my TP because you're looking for a continuation, right? So you're looking for that high to get taken, right? So let's see what happens. Let's see. Okay, so now we form more liquidity right here, which seems nice. Okay, so price actually bounces from this, which we didn't expect, and price is TP. So this is normal, okay? So it happens sometimes that when you're trying to refine too much, that you never get filled, but it's a good thing, right? It's better than taking a loss by trying to FOMO in, right? So now what you have is, simply a nice setup that went away, but it is fine. And now we're just gonna mark out new zones, right? So this is your new zone. I know it's a big zone, but it is a zone, and you should respect it, right? Just because, yeah, just simply you could also maybe market enter this, just because the zone is a big one. So you would wait for price to come in and make a bounce. Like this is your bounce, and then you would enter right here, stops to be like that, and then your take profit would be, I mean, this high already got taken, so let me look at the 50-minute to see continuation towards maybe these highs right here. So that'll be a 1 to 4, but since yeah, that'll be 1 to 4. So let's see, right? Okay, so you get that break. Now after you see this wick up there, you're gonna go break even due to price making that wick, and that wick actually I think is gonna refer to somewhere. It refers to this high, which is weird. Price not taking this high, but it could be that price is just forming more liquidity at this point to take out later. So we don't want to be caught up in that liquidity, and we want to preserve our capital, right? So you could even take a partial here if you want, or fully close. That's also the importance of trading. You always want to manage your whole trade, and you want to make sure that you're managing it like as good as you can, right? And that's why we're gonna break even. So let's see what happens. Okay, so would you get tapped out break even? Probably would, because you're covering your fees and shit, so you're probably out at break even. So this setup gave no gain, no loss. There's also, I think, news at 445, 345. So it's a good thing to either way close, right? So now what do you have? You have news, right? So now you're not looking at any 1 minute POI. You're looking at a 15/1 hour POI at the least, right? The least, because there's no way news is gonna bounce off a 1 minute POI, right? That wouldn't make any sense. So I would be looking at this POI, which is the POI that caused price to move up this high, right? So of course you want to wait a little bit, because news volume and shit, you want to wait like 5 minutes in. So this is more than 5 minutes. You're gonna wait for price to come in. Price comes inside your zone, right? Price comes inside your zone, very nice. Now what you're expecting is a simple bounce, because first of all, it's after news, and second of all, it's a 15-minute demand, and I don't want to wait for too many confirmations because simply it's after news, and price is actually very, very volatile. You could see some very fast movement, right? And this is a riskier trade, yes, but it's a risk you want to take, right? So you're going to buy here as soon as you break those highs. Stop like this, and you're targeting, I would personally target these highs right here, because that's where the news effect came from. So I'm expecting these highs to get, I mean, even these highs. So let's see if they get taken, right? So I expect these highs to get taken, because that was the liquidity we talked about previously, right? Where we had that break of structure, not real break of structure. Like I said, we were gonna form more liquidity by there was also more liquidity up here, so we make double liquidity for ourselves to grab later on, right? So let's see what happens. So you have that nice reaction, right? You break those structure, which is very nice. So now we could potentially look to scale in here, right? This is not a perfect demand zone, I know, but this is also a small break of structure after taking liquidity, and that's also very, very important. A zone that takes liquidity, and like you take liquidity, you come back, and then you go back up, that's a break of structure on liquidity taking. So let's see. Now we take those highs as well. So now you could be more cautious, but again, you take those highs and then you break structure, right? But I don't think we're gonna hold this one because we already got a demand zone here. Exactly, no hold. Let's see if we get filled. So that's unfortunate, we get no fill on the second trade, but that's fine. Now it's lunch, so we don't expect much to happen, just forming of liquidity, which is better for us. We want liquidity to be formed to the upside, so essentially the price to go down is a bit better for us. Where did I mark this? Okay, so now price actually very slow, and I would close my trade before 22:45, because that's gonna be close to market closing. So this day didn't give a lot of setups, the Friday, but it gave one setup, which was 8R, which was enough. So price actually does not hit TP, which is crazy, but as I said, 22:45 I would have closed. 22:45, so right here I would have closed for a 5R gain, which is also very solid. So at the end of the day, you would have gained 10R if you took both trades, right? So now we are still bullish on EU, right? We're looking for buys all the way. Now what do you see? You actually see hella liquidity. 1, 2, 3. I mean, this is taken, okay? But we still have this. So you have this liquidity, and then you have this liquidity. So you have 4 liquidities, which are very, very attractive since we are also in a bullish structure. But as you guys can see, highs, 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 highs. Keep on making new highs on the, this is the 15-minute, I think. Yeah, it's the 1 hour actually. So on the 1 hour, as you guys can see, and if you look at the 15-minute, you actually identify more and more liquidity. So what I expect on EU is simply continuation to the upside. Yeah, simple continuation to the upside. Very, very nice, clear price action I want on Monday. That's what I'm expecting. Just continuation bias to the upside towards that, the daily level we got there, which is around here, and we could even see these highs break, but you want to be careful once you come inside any of these POIs, right? Any around here and here, you want to be careful, because at the end of the day, that's a big run, right? And we could just have internal bullishness on the weekly. Like if you look at the 1 week, you're very bullish, right? And even on the 1 day, you're very bullish. But this just could be a retracement for a big bearish trend to start. So we want to be careful with that. We also got news on Wednesday, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna see how that unfolds. But again, I expect price to be bullish. So that was it for Friday. Was not too much price action to really do anything. The real move, like the big move, happened during London Open, which we caught, and then news, and then after news, which we also caught. So that we could have had three trades, but you don't want to really be in news trades. And we were bullish and price went bearish. There was no real bullish setup. And as news approaches, you don't want to have any limits on. You don't like if news approaches in 5 to 10 minutes, you don't want to have any limits on. You could market enter before news comes out, but that's very risky, especially when you're not near any POI. Like if you're like 1 pip away or 2 pips away from a POI, which I've done multiple times, right? Whenever we were here, price was at 334. My limit was at 311. I just market enter at 334 because I just knew that yeah, price would go up essentially, and if it went down, I was risking small, so I didn't really care. So yeah, at the end of the day, news is just gonna, like, if you look realistically on news, right? What did you have? You simply had the Asian high. No, this is the London high, or actually the previous day high get taken, and you also take this high, which is not really that important. But you also form more liquidity for later on to take, and you fill this demand zone on the 15 minute. That's the real reason. But after you took off these highs, you would have been careful. That's why you always gotta mark liquidity in your trade, in your like if you're not used to spotting liquidity with your blind eye, you always want to mark them out with your pencil or whatever on your chart, so you know once liquidity gets taken. Because if you look at it, this is actually liquidity getting taken twice, right? You take liquidity first, and then you take that liquidity as well. So the first traders are already out. So the market took liquidity twice, which would have been a good, a good show off that price is gonna reverse. Because if you're a sell side buy side trader, right? Let's say you trade the sell side liquidity, and then so this is your sell side liquidity taken right here. You have that break of structure, right? So that's your break of structure. You sell, stop like this, TP. Well, let's say these lows. You get taken out, and then price runs in your favor. So yeah, that's very nice to see. So we just form more liquidity. It's all about liquidity at the end of the day. You just form more liquidity to get taken later on. Like whenever price retraces somewhere, and if your scenario is bullet correct, like if you know where the price is gonna go, like for example, I think price is gonna go up. If you know the price is gonna go up, then you just know this is just forming liquidity, and that's it. There's no other thing than forming liquidity, because price needs liquidity. Without liquidity, you ain't going nowhere. So yeah, I think that'll be it for today. I know it wasn't that long, but there was not really too much to speak about. And I've noticed that this week I only had one loss. That's the crazy part. And just because I've been, going over these, uh, going over these charts every night, that's a big factor even for me. Because I only lost one trade this week, and I think I took like 9 trades or 10 trades. So that's actually very nice to see. And even on the 50, I mean on the 50K, I'm up 7,500, which is like, I don't know, maybe 15%. Yeah, 15%. So I'm winning on my payout on that. So that's gonna be all for that. And then on the 100K phase one, we're at break even still, so that's also nice. So anyway, if you guys have no other questions, that'll be it for today's session. I was actually gonna do a little TikTok, right, where people spam W's, but there's only 6 people. I actually expect more to come, but I guess that's fine. It doesn't really matter that much because I'm speaking to myself anyway. But yeah, I guess that'll be it, guys. Thanks for coming, and yeah, see you guys Monday night. I think I have to see. But I think I'm gonna be live shading New York in the mentorship. Probably in New York, yeah, because I'm gonna be going to my girl for London. And then